It's your boy Codehova from Fly Combinator, yo. We're pimping Swift, and we're going to continue talking about optionals, but this one is going to be about nil coalescing. All right? So before we talked about if let, we talked about guard let. But there's some times where we don't want to do all this, well, it's not complicated, but we just know what we want to do if something is a value and if something is not a value, if something is nil. So what nil coalescing is, all right, let's just talk about it in examples. So we have this 40 string again, and we're going to convert that string into an int. So it's going to be an int optional. So let's just say that this is let real int. All right. So what nil coalescing is that we're going to say that 40 int optional, it's going to actually be this, or it's going to be 1,000. All right. So if we look at this real int value, we know that it's int, because what this is saying is that I want this real int value to be the int value of this optional. And if it isn't, I want it to be the value of 1,000. So if we were to print, all right, real int plus 60, let's see what happens. The answer is 100. Okay. But let's say that this was not an int. The answer is going to be 1,060, because again, if this is always going to be an int, but this int is either going to be the actual int value of this int optional, or it's going to be 1,000. We could even make it like 666. All right. Some crazy shit, calling the devil on me. So it's like, it's either going to be this or that. So we're not dealing with the if let or guard let. We're just saying, yo, I just want this value to either be this, or if this is nil, I want it to be this. All right. So let's just run another example. It's like, let's create a constant called trillist. All right. So it's either going to be the dictionary value of trill, all right, or it's going to be bun B, okay? So at the end of the day, I'm going to print out whoever the trillist is. So as you see, it's Chad Butler, all right? To keep up with, like, conforming with whatever it is, I think Bun's name is Bernard. So if we run this, it's going to be Chad, because this is a, it equals into a string optional. So if it is a string, I want it to be whoever's here. I want it to be whoever's in the trill. All right. But let's say we're supposed to call triller. Because there is no value for triller in this dictionary, it's going to be equal into Bernard. So again, let's just say, right now, let me just erase this and say this is nil. So street name doesn't exist. So name equals street name or Joe Blow. So if I print out the name, we're going to be dealing with Joe Blow, because street name doesn't exist. It's a nil. So because it's a nil, I want it to be Joe Blow. But if this were Codehova and we run it, we got Codehova printed out because it's not nil. All right. So just for example's sake, let number equal my cell or 420. All right. So let's print out the number. So when you're doing nil coalescing, you're always going to have a value, because you're going to give it the default value you want that value to be, in the case that what you have here on the left side is equal to nothing. All right. So if we print this, we're going to deal with this long ass number. If we change this to a nil, it's going to fail this side. So the value number is going to be equal to the default you give it in the case that it does fail. Boom. It's your boy Codehova, man. Nil coalescing. Dealing with optionals in Swift. We pimping it. Fly Combinator. Any questions, put it down below. Let's keep on pimping.